Easter week, and we've got bunnies tucking eggs into baskets all over the place. Yeah, if you drop it, just scoop it back up and make the deposit. And don't forget to collect your interest. If you see daylight, run to it. But hold on, not so fast. We've got some goalies getting their kicks. But you can't stop what you can't see, right? So rumble on down to LaxWrap, and we will stop you right there. Hello again, LaxRatz Nation. Welcome to this week's LaxWrap. We've got a ton of information for you this week. I want to introduce and welcome Tauli Anderson with us today and the coach, Chris Jewett. And let's get right to it. Coach, why don't you bring us up to speed on what you've been seeing?
Chopper, we got a big game tonight, Friday the 26th at Maricosta. In my opinion, two of the top 10 programs in Southern California, Maricosta versus LaSalle. And the great thing about this is there's three players to watch in this game, all Division I commits. I'm a little biased. I've known these guys since they were little dudes out there playing, great kids. Nick Butler going to Quinnipiac on Costa. Ed Sheen going to Ohio State on LaSalle. In my opinion, Ed's one of the best players in California. And then Drew Anderson. Drew Anderson's going to Marist. I love Drew. He came to a try lacrosse when he was a little guy, put a stick in his hand. He was a baseball player. I told his parents this kid should be a lacrosse player, and this through hard work, determination, sheer grit. He's such a stud, great athlete. I love him. He's going D1 to Marist. So that's going to be a great game. I'm excited to get the highlights of that. Also, I want to talk a little bit about, we have a goal of the week. So the goal of the week is going to be Luke Glowacki, another LaSalle player. The Glowacki family is quite the SoCal Lacrosse family. His father, Brad, played D1 at Delaware. He's also assistant coach at LaSalle. Older daughter played at Mater Dei. She's now playing at Tampa. And younger son, Hero, is an absolute stud. I'd love to get some highlights of Hero sent to us, middle school player. So I talked to Tarek, head coach over at Oak Park, one of the true great coaches in Southern California. He gave me a little insight to some of his players to watch, and that's Sam Peters at attack, Benin Power, and then I want to give a huge shout out to, Dylan Hardy. So here's what I heard about Dylan. Both of their goalies are injured, so Dylan plays every position, stepped up to play goal for them this year, and that's incredibly impressive. I love it.
Hey, Coach, I understand this kid doesn't just alternate games, goalie or attack. He does it all in the same game. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm hearing the other night that he started in goal, came out, played a little attack, had a couple shots on goal, and then came back and played goalie. So that's just incredible. He's just a do-it-all player.
Yeah, so if you're playing those guys, make sure you get way ahead, because once they put him back in goal, I think he sealed the deal for that team. Hey, we got a couple other updates that I want to bring everybody up on. We're getting some great information sent in to us from Mater Dei, and enough information that I got to warn LaxRatz Nation, this team's for real. They opened the season by beating Tesoro 14-6. They went down and beat Newport Harbor 11-3, and then they played San Clemente, a very, very good team, last weekend. And won that game 17-6. Their JV won its game 16-4. And the Monarchs were led by senior Tommy Bethel, 4 goals, and stellar defensive work by goalie Nick Collignan. And then the defensive poles get a shout out: Tyler Curry, Tej Gaddafi, and Andrew Crosby. And these guys send me stats that include ground balls and caused turnovers. And the reason I can dig that is my kid was a defenseman, and those are the stats you track for your long poles, and they're getting a great run out of those kids to start the year. I also want to bring LaxRatz Nation up to speed on 2 Loyola boys lacrosse players who are doing the right thing in the community. There was a story in the LA Times sports section last Friday, the 26th, about Henry Kupek and Hudson O'Hanlon, who both play lax at Loyola. And these kids last April, at the start of the pandemic, started a group called Groceries for Good. And what they do is they pick up and deliver groceries for people who can't get out of the house during the pandemic. They receive no pay other than tips. So if you use these guys, be sure you tip them a little bit. And they've made more than 100 visits to Trader Joe's on behalf of their clients, fulfilling orders. And get this, Kupek is a straight A student. He already has older siblings, twins, who play lax and volleyball at MIT and may be joining them at MIT. So the kid not only has a good heart, got a pretty good brain too as well. So a shout out to Henry Kupek and Hudson O'Hanlon for doing the right thing. All right, let's check in with Tauli Anderson. Tauli, what have you been up to?
Hey, I've been busy. I spoke with 4 different coaches this last week, but first off, I want to talk about, I know I mentioned the tournament Buku challenge in Temecula, and I chatted with so many different players. It was so great to see players and parents out on the field again and just enjoying life. But more importantly, most of these players I talked to weren't from Southern California. They traveled to Temecula just to be in this tournament, and here's what they had to say. Hey LaxRatz, it's Tauli Anderson here on location in Temecula, California, where hey, lacrosse is back on the field here in Southern California. It's the Buku Crush Challenge 2-day tournament, and there are 6 total championship games.
I think it's really fun because it's a lot different, because in Canada it's cold and snowing right now, and it's a little bit sunny, and it's a lot of fun. I am hoping to accomplish a win in the championship game because that would be really fun. This is our last tournament, so to end on a big win would be really good.
We got the mighty Tiny Tigers of Tustin, and then we've got the OC Crush teams representing the middle school and high school. It's a really special weekend. This is the first time for the Tigers getting out to play together, and just seeing that community come back together. It's really fun, seeing smiles on their faces, and it's just a blast. We just want them to appreciate being able to play, being able to be with each other, and just to keep learning about this incredible game.
It's been pretty fun, yeah. I like how they're doing temperature checks and being careful with COVID. That's definitely made me feel a lot safer, and I've had a lot of fun. It's been a good experience.
Successful tournament here in Temecula, California. Buku Challenge held a 2-day tournament and hosted nearly 30 teams, kids from 10U all the way to high school. It was amazing to see kids back on the field playing the game that they love. Hey LaxRatz Nation, we'll see you next time. And as we all have talked about, Chris has a new league in Southern California, Skill. It's amazing. I went and saw it last Sunday. It's truly Disneyland. There's so many players playing around at all different ages, and there's food being cooked on the grill, which really interests me as well because it's a long day out there. And here's what Chris has to say on why it's so important to get kids out on the field.
So with all the uncertainty regarding field space in Southern California, I'm the head coach of St. John Bosco, so they were nice enough to give me the entire campus, 4 fields, 36 acres to create the Southern California Independent Lacrosse League. We're calling it Skill because we want kids to be able to build skill, have fun, and get better. So we have 10 clubs and about 30 teams from 2nd grade to 8th grade coming out, and middle school girls as well. It's been a ton of fun. Bosco's centrally located, and on a Sunday, it's easy to get here from Northern OC as well as South Bay. So clubs have been taking only 25 minutes to get here. And I also like the fact that it's contained, so everyone's in one location rather than going to multiple locations. We have the grill open. It's just a good lacrosse environment, a lot of fun. And we're doing something a little bit unique, a little bit different in that I love my refereeing brothers, and they're fantastic. But what we're doing is we're having the coaches ref the games. And that helps to teach in the moment, build IQ, and help the player develop. So the coaches can coach and ref at the same time. And so far, it's been fantastic.
How many kids do you believe total?
Maybe 450, about that. Yeah.
How long will this league go on for?
So we're gonna run 9 weeks through May 16th, every Sunday out at Bosco, and so far it's been great. A lot of fun. I have my son playing with the little guys, so that's been a blast, and just a great lacrosse environment here.
Hey, Tauli, I know you've been reaching out to coaches. I think you've covered the entire Southland. Why don't you start with Ventura County?
Ventura County, yes, Newberry Park, head coach Michelle Yeager. They are off to an awesome start. And I know that they have their senior over there, Emma Ng, who is already committed to Oregon. She is truly just a leader out on the field, Michelle was saying. And it's just so important that they do have younger players, and Emma being the senior and the leader, she really wants to focus on getting the younger players more time out on the field, whether that's changing positions or working with them even off the field. So I think Ventura County is really making a name out there.
Okay, hey Tauli, tell us what's up with any coaches in LA County that you caught up with.
Of course, PV head coach Todd Dearborn. Now, they only lost 2 goalies last year, but what now is interesting about this team is that their goalie right now is a freshman, Grace Moore, and she's in contact with the goalie that has left, Lily, who, by the way, is living in Scotland right now. So I'm going to be catching up with Lily and Grace in weeks to come via Zoom to just see how that is not only going in Scotland, but rather how a freshman is handling varsity team.
All right, Tauli, complete the loop. Give us an update on Orange County.
Head coach Christina Johnson from Foothill. This is going to be her 4th season. She was head coach of the year last year. I know that she was expected to have an amazing team. It's unfortunate due to COVID, there really wasn't much of a season. Her senior last year, Ashley Stokes, is now off playing college in Boulder, and she was even nominated Player of the Week. So she seems to be doing very well in college, and I'm expected to catch up with her via Zoom, of course, soon. Now, Foothill hasn't even started their season yet. They will start sometime next week, but they have an amazing schedule, and I look forward to covering their team more.
Hey, regarding top 10 teams, we told you last week it's a little bit hard to get information because nobody's been playing. We hope to have our own top 10 teams going forward, but it may be the perfect opportunity for us to bring back Strider. For those of you that were watching the show 3 or 4 years ago, you'll recall that Strider, the Wonder Dog, did an excellent job of picking top teams. And I think he was sort of in a competition with our own chief, Lane Jaffe, on who could make the top picks. Strider leveraged that success with predicting outcomes into a day trading job on the stock market and has made millions of dollars. So he's retired and looking for something to do. And so we may bring Strider back to see if he can maybe match wits with Tauli and Chris and Coach on which are the top teams. All right, LaxRatz Nation, this is a feature that you guys have been clamoring for. We do have the top 10 plays of the week, which we're going to run. But I want to give a brief disclaimer. In past years, we've had people say, hey, you didn't have the top 10 play because we had one and you didn't run it. But let me tell you something. If we don't have the footage,
that play doesn't exist.
All right, so if you want us to run your plays, send them to us. And if you want to send them to us, all you got to do is go to LaxRatz.net, go to the home page, and there's a key you can click to make it simple to upload your footage. And we want your footage. We want to broaden this thing out. But for now, let's take a look at what this week's top 10 plays are.
At number 10, the Redondo boys goalie is going to snuff an array of shots, starting with a tough bouncer. Oh, and no putbacks allowed. Number 1 tries him from top left, but this guy's a firewall. Access denied. Let's see how quickly Culver and White can transition from D to O. It's number 1 with a check, the ground ball, and then a quick dime to 51, who makes the deposit. At 8, it's Newberry Park in the red jersey. Watch 15's quick pass to 9, who's going to shrug off the long pole to create time and room, rip it fast and low, and then the celly. At 7, let's check out the Agoura girls in white, an amazing individual effort. Alicia Cannon starts with a one-hand grab, just so casual, the romp through the park, Newberry Park that is, and then the slick finish, like magic. Speaking of magic, at number 6, how about the Redondo boys unis? Silver numerals on white jerseys, so this kid is a UFO. But man, can he stop and go, and then he stuffs it in from an impossible angle. At number 5, next, it's Harvard Westlake in the dark jerseys, and it's the number 11 multi-goal show. First, the fake and the reset for the laser, top shelf left. Then 11 gets the step, loses the pole and a 360, and then undresses the goalie. And lastly, time and room and the hat trick. Thank you very much. Number 4, watch the Newberry Park girls in the dark jerseys demonstrate the value of winning the 50-50 balls. It's number 35 who gathers the pearl, works past 2 defenders before she sets up from point-blank range, and she is not going to miss from there. Number 3, and here's Oak Park's Blake Sander laying the wood on the shooter, but Simi Valley's number 7 ignores the check and rips it. And then he's all, next time bring something better than a lacrosse stick, maybe a bazooka. Now, how this failed to make the top spot mystifies me. Oak Park's Dylan Hardy starts in goal against Simi Valley, and he keeps the door closed, but Oak Park needs some offense, so he grabs the short stick, moves to attack, and scores a big goal. Game's on the line, so he seals the deal back in goal to finish out the game. Okay, here's why the previous highlight was only number 2. Oak Park's Sam Peters gets lit up by 2 defenders. I mean, they face plant him into the turf, but he's back up, still got the rock, and the goalie's like, I'm facing the Black Knight here. Nothing stops him. And since there's never just 10 outstanding plays in a week, take a look at some plays that just missed the cut.
Hey guys, I was getting ready to get out of here and I realized I forgot something. Thankfully, our social network guru reminded me. Tauli, how do people follow us on social media?
As always, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, @LaxRatz. Like, follow along, and we'll see you on our social media.
All right, that's going to do it for this week's edition of LaxWrap. Thanks to everybody for sending in information about your games and your players, sending us the footage. Please send more because we want to make the show as rich as we can. So for my associate, Tauli Anderson, and my associate, the coach, and for our producer, Lisa, this is Chopper saying thanks for watching, and we will see you next week.